you. Okay. They are both gone.
Hello, everybody. So, what are you reading, Sherry?
Well, the book I'm listening to is Pony by R.J. Palacio. And I'm reading the other book is a middle grade World War II book called Whistling in the Dark.
Cool. That sounds good. I was looking for a book to start today because I wanted something and I wanted something quick, and I seen the Deeds of the Deceitful by Ellery Adams had the audio on Hoopla, so I was like, that's like one I can finish or catch up to a series on my SAS list, like right at the last minute.
Oh, that's good. Well, the
So
one
yeah,
I finished late last night was the last one that I was pushing for because it's my winter book for
yeah.
Saturday, and it's the last one I need. It's book number 30 in the Meg Langville series. I finished. I'm all caught up but that's until next year when there's two books coming out next year.
Yeah, that's cool though, because you went through quite a few of those this year, didn't you?
I did. I did. But I enjoy them so much. Like Tiffany and I talk, there's just so much growth. And by the time this one came out, uh some characters that were tiny at one point are in their teens now, and I'm like, oh my god.
Wow, that's pretty cool that they do that with the series. Some of them don't uh, do that. So okay, let's see. Everybody's showing up now. Hi, everybody. Hi, Cajun. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Cozy. Yeah, I didn't realize that until I was just looking through. I just happened to be looking through the audiobook section trying to find an audiobook, and I was like, what? There it is. The book I needed.
That's a series I need to start. Not need to start that person. There's just so many people I need to start.
Yeah.
I have
Hi,
50,
Leanne.
52 series on the 50 in my regular people, not the SAS list, but in my regular list of things. I have 52 series I need to start or finish.
Wow. Yeah, I have a whole bunch. We won't go there. So, everybody, what are you reading tonight? Or are you uh, trying to do that last minute like crunch before the year is over? And I see Mr. Francie's here, and it's already the new year for him, so
Happy New
he can
Year, Mr.
start
Francis.
fresh. He can start fresh. And Nancy is reading Death on the Danube by Jennifer S. Alderson. Hi, Mr. Francie. Hi, Cornflower. And Cozy said she finished 2 audiobooks, so she was in the middle of yesterday and won't finish a book today. But you did really good by finishing 2 books yesterday.
Yeah.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Cajun says, I think Meg books have more growth than any series I've read.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, I read the first one and I did like it, but it wasn't a favorite. But I do think it had a lot going, so I need to give it
It
more.
did because there was all that stuff with Rob and her mom
Yeah, it had like
and
3 weddings or something in it, and it was like, oh,
yeah,
this is too much.
and then the peacocks all over the place, and then the were there like two mysteries going on, and
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff going on.
it was like it was a very busy first book.
Cozy says, I have having a movie and appetizer night at my in-laws later. Oh, that sounds fun.
It should be fun.
And fantastically taboo books. Hey, Carrie, that's kind of a cool name. It says, I'm listening to Beaches, Bungalows, and Burglaries. Oh, that one. Is that the Tony Coppola one? The
I think so.
Campers and Criminals?
I
Sounds
think
kind of
so.
like it. Says, Cajun wants to know, Nancy, are you liking it? She finished it earlier today. And Nancy said she was reading 3 different cozies and 1 romance and switching around. There you go. I do that quite a bit. And Cajun's reading Cold Cut Murders, Darling Deli number 3. Hi, Karen. Happy New Year's. Oh, yes. Happy New Year's, everyone. Yes. Telling Mr. Francie Happy New Year's. We got a little ways to go here before we get to shout the Happy New Year's, but I may be sleeping by the time that happens. I don't know. Depending on how I feel. Hi, Susan. Oh, yeah, because she was reading all those many had to be a little bit more specific. So the death on the dam. How you liking that one, Nancy? And Cozy says, Mr. Francie, how is 2022 treating us so far? Hopefully it's going to be a little bit better than this year.
I hope so.
And Elizabeth said, I finished the audiobook that I was listening to this afternoon. Now I'm working on the Writer's Apprentice novella. Is that the only book you need to get finished before the end of the year, Elizabeth? Because I know you like to get yours finished and start fresh in the new year. And see, Nancy says, all mine will go to January. Meg Langslow is very humorous, I found. Yes. Oh, I was right. That is the Campers and Criminals. Cool. And Cozy says, I felt the same way with the Meg Langslow. I was overwhelmed with the first book, and the series is so long it intimidates me. Yeah, it does. But I have quite a few like really long series, so I'm just like, I'm gonna do a few at a time. And the Meg Langslow is not like a high priority, but I will try to get to at least maybe one or two next year, just to see if I'm gonna like it a little bit more than the first book. And Cozy will be starting the Campers and Criminal series in January.
Doesn't that one have a whole lot too? Like 20?
Yeah, it has a whole lot, and they're really short though, because I think they're like probably 5 hours or something like that.
Okay.
On audio, so it's not too bad. And Mr. Francie said, I will most likely start the Night Circus today. All right. I'm really curious to see how you're going to like that, because I was not a fan of that one. I DNF'd it. I'm on Zach's team whenever it comes to that. Even though I'm on Casey's team for the readathon, I'm on Zach's team when it comes to that. But it is very popular. A lot of people like it. And so Nancy says, yes, I'm really enjoying it, Cajun. I think I'll enjoy the series. Cool. Mr. Francie said, such different time zones. I've Happy New Year's, slept and woke up again. Yeah. And I think I don't know, did it just happen? I think it's New Year's now in the UK, I think. I think I saw Kay say something about it being the new year. And so, Leanna, do you like the Food Lover Village series? I finished it, but I'm not a fan of the author's writing. Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of that one either. Mr. Francie said, so far, 2022 has been an absolute delight. That's good. Here, it seems like it's going to start out really cold.
We're expecting a big snow. We're expecting a snowstorm tomorrow. So I'm going to be home all day tomorrow.
Oh, Cajun says they're already starting with the fireworks here. Well, tell them to quit jumping the gun. It's not time yet. Says, me too. We decided for the first year we may not make it. Quite sure.
Was she talking about staying up until?
Oh, maybe, yeah, staying up. Yeah. And Leanne says, I count the New York ball drop as midnight because it's 9 p.m. here in California. Well, there you go, I guess, That's a good way to do it. Watch it early, and then you can go to bed early. Oh, Lizzie Faye said, no, I have 140 pages left of A New Leaf by Thomas Kincaid. I just figured I would finish the shorter one first. Okay. And Nancy says, I have many long series. I don't binge, as y'all know. I just plod along. Yep, so do I. I kind of plod along, too. And Cajun says, Mr. Francie, does Australia have different time zones? And Susan says, I decided to read Midnight Snacks or Murder by Libby Klein as my January prompt book, and also plan to read Aloha Betrayed, a Jessica Fletcher mystery. We'll use it as my ABC book list. Okay, so we'll start our first sprint at 15 after.
Sounds good.
Y'all know.
Yeah, I gotta go get during that. I'll probably listen to my book because I gotta go get something to eat. I'm hungry. All that work with Kira made me hungry.
Yeah, you've been working all day, so you worked up an appetite. And Leanne says, I like the Food Lovers Village, but not my total favorite like Charlene Harris. And Nancy says, I don't seem to worry about finishing series, but I'm in the minority. I just enjoy each book as I go along, but that's just me. Yeah. Everybody has their little quirk about reading. And Cozy says, my big issue will be waking up for the 9 a.m. live show. Coffee will be needed. Yes.
Sure, it will be.
Do we need to set your alarm clock for you so you make sure you get up? Hi, Cheryl.
Hi, Cheryl.
What are you reading, Cheryl? And Rocket says they have been sitting on fireworks here since Christmas. Yeah, they're getting excited. They're wanting to shoot those fireworks. And Nancy said, good for you, Leanne. I'm with you, but I'm in Florida. And Cajun says, which Harris is your favorite, Leanne? And Elizabeth says, I just listened to Christmas Criminals and Campers last week. It was fun. I want to get to book 9 later in the year since it starts with V for the ABC challenge. Well, there you go. That's a good. That series will be good for that challenge. Plus, if anybody reads the was it the Sue Grafton? I think it's considered cozy. I think we discussed this the other day. I'm not sure.
Also, the Cozy Corgi series has a lot of.
What does it?
I think Ro and I are both using the next book in the series because it's cute.
Leanne says China is very big, but only has one time zone. Yeah, it's weird how things are different in other countries. Nancy said there may be different opinions on Night Circus. Yes. I'm kind of curious to see about all the people that are going to be reading that for their buddy read to see what they're going to think of it. Cozy is going to try and read a few pages of Devereaux's Dime Store #3. And Cajun says, mine is Lily Shakespeare. Aurora irritates me, and I love Suki, oddly for me. I read, I don't know, 3 or 4 books in the Suki Stackhouse, and then I quit because I like Vampire Bill, and I was afraid of what was going to happen to him, so I quit reading.
I read the whole series.
Yeah, I even quit watching the TV series because I didn't like how he was going. He was my favorite.
I never tried the Shakespeare series, and then she has a ghost one too.
And so, whoops here. Rocket Reed says, I'm only going to be here for a bit, but for hopping off to spend time with hubby. Oh, that's okay. Hope you have a fun time. You guys going to do anything? Watch movies? Whatever? I know I have a real boring life, so being on here is about as fun as my night's going to be. And Cozy says, LOL, I'll need several alarms. I'm sure I will be up super late tonight because I took a nap. And Nancy says, for sure, Cozy, gonna be tough. Yep, it'll be tough. Cheryl says, I'm going to try and finish Dead Man in the Garden. It's a middle grade murder mystery with Agatha Christie as a child sleuth. I'm loving it so far. Oh, is that one that you're wanting to start? Is it? I can't remember what the series is called.
Aggie Morton?
Yeah, is that it? Isn't it Agatha Christie?
I don't know. I know that's supposed to be an Agatha Christie inspired character, Aggie Morton, but I don't know if that's in that series. That's a series I want to start later this year at some point, but I'm not sure.
So Leanne likes all Harris, and I started with Suki Stackhouse. Sue Grafton is not considered cozy. Okay.
I was gonna say she gets pretty. There's language and
Well, I think it's in some places it's considered cozy, and that's like the thing. It's like some people will label it cozy and others don't.
I mean, I enjoyed all the books, and I'm very disappointed. It's horrible that she passed away, but now we just have no Z.
Yeah, you think somebody would like step in and at least make the Z so they can finish the series out for those people who are like those ones that need to finish the series. Oh, I see somebody. Hello, I saw
Hi,
you.
Lee.
Hello.
How are you doing, Lee?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good. What are you reading real quick? Because I was going to start a sprint and then I see I'm a minute late.
Okay. Apple cider slang.
Oh, okay. That sounds cool. And so we will read till 45. Is that good?
Perfect. Hey, Cozy.
Hey, happy reading, everyone. So how did everybody do?
Good. I got 5% read.
Cool.
I read 11% of mine.
Nice.
I don't know exactly where I started, but I'm at 87%. So
So that's good.
Nice.
let's see if I can find where I was. Okay, so Cozy says that's why I limit myself to 2 letters per series. I'm not trying to finish the challenge by June, but I want to spread it out for the year. It's like, yeah, or you could just use the whole like campers and criminals probably.
Which would work great. I'm like toward the end of the series though already, so I'm like, yeah, I already used all those letters, last year.
Bummer. Yeah.
That's all right.
And Kay says, Happy New Year. Hi,
New Year.
Kay. And Cozy says, yes, Sherry, I'm using the Cozy Corgi for Q. Oh, I'm Team Eric. Leanne, you're killing me.
What are we talking about, Team Eric?
We were talking about the Suki Stackhouse. I'm Bill, Team Bill. So
Yeah, I
doesn't
was always
surprise me.
Team Bill.
I'm Team Eric.
Yeah.
I'm Team Eric.
And Rocket says, I finished up my manga and graphic novel book earlier today, so I'll keep reading Rebel Springs for my last 2021 read to reach 100 bookmark. All right.
Awesome.
And Cozy says, Storm, Vampire Bill goes through a lot in True Blood. Yeah, I know. And I couldn't watch it. I couldn't watch him go until I quit watching it. I think I quit like about the 4th season or 5th season on the show. And I only read like 3 books, I think.
Oh, wow.
I never, as much as I love the series, reading it, I never saw one episode of it.
I read quite a bit, but I only watched, I think, up to season 3.
Oh, and Sherry says, wait, who is with you, Storm? I can't figure it out by her voice. That is Sherry.
Sorry.
I forgot. I should have like had her introduce herself and everything because I didn't see her. And Cozy says, oh, everybody's for Eric. So see, somebody has to love Bill.
There you go.
And Rocket says, probably just play video games like I normally do. Yeah, that sounds good. She answered that. Okay.
Hi, Sheriff.
Oh, and she said, yes, it's the Aggie Morton series. Okay. That has the Agatha Christie type character or whatever. And Cozy says, if you can find a website that labels the Sue Grafton series as a cozy mystery, then okay, but cozy, it's not cozy according to Goodreads. Okay. I just know we were talking about that the other day and I couldn't remember.
Mm-hmm. I think though too, that kind of helps you figure out like, oh, if it says it, okay, cool. That's what I'm using it for. So
Mm-hmm. She says, no, Sue Grafton definitely is not cozy. Well, it's like, some people consider the Inspector Gamache series, the Chief Inspector Gamache series, as a cozy, and I don't think it's cozy. So I'm like, everybody's level of cozy is different.
right.
Well, I think they consider it cozy because of the Three Pines Village being itself cozy, because the village itself is cozy. But when you have Rosie the duck who doesn't say quack, but she says what she says all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, and that gets kind of aggravating after a while. I really don't care if the duck cusses. And Cajun said Goodreads has A is for alibi with a cozy mystery tag. And then Cheryl says cozy, not sure. I haven't looked at it yet. Oh, so she doesn't know. I think I skipped one where it says Cheryl want to know if you're doing the ABC challenge. Yeah. Okay. I skipped one. And Kay says, doing my party dance while the fireworks go off. All right. And then Cajun says, I don't see mystery tag on the app version. Maybe it's the website. Yeah. See, in my app version, it doesn't show me any kind of genre label or whatever. It doesn't say anything. I look all over it, but it's because I've got this stupid Android and it just doesn't do anything. So I always have to look on the website to see what genre like labels things are. Cozy said, Happy New Year, Kay. And so Cajun says, so maybe so. Also, you have to click the tags to see all there is, because there could be more than what's on the main page. Okay, well, I guess I'll let people interpret the series as cozy mysteries they want to. I've only read the first one, and it's been so long ago, I can't even remember like what it was about, but I didn't think it was too bad. But I mean, sometimes the first one is a little cozier than as it goes, because even with this, the Chief Inspector Gamache, it seems like it was a little bit cozier at the beginning.
Yep.
But now it seems like there's a lot more cussing and a lot more stuff in it.
I read Ads for Alibi. I think before Kira was alive, so that's a long time ago.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Because Cajun says way back when it came out, those kinds were considered cozy because normally none were really cozy like that, if that makes sense. Yeah. Well, it's like some of those, like the Elizabeth Peters books, I think, are considered cozy, but when some people read them, they're like, they're not that cozy because they were come out in like the 80s or 90s. But not, see, Cajun says, but not, it's really, but now it isn't really technical. Okay. Technically now. Goldie Schultz was considered cozy too, but I wouldn't say that much now.
True.
Okay, says it stopped. It's 12/24, 1st of January, 2022. My first reading sprint of 2022. There you go. Woo. Oh, hi, Hannah. Says
Hi,
getting
Hannah.
my food and heading home. All right.
Let's be Tiffany. What kind of food are you getting?
Oh, yeah. What kind of food? Yeah. And Cozy said, Cajun, okay. I had to consider edgy cozy like I do the Goldie Bear series. Yeah. Hello, Hannah. And listening to Cozy Corgi Mystery number 5 instead. Still have a hard time focusing on my ebooks. Yeah, well, hopefully 2022 will be better for you, Cozy. Maybe you'll get your mojo back. And Cajun says, I agree. I would say the home repair for homicide is the same, edgy.
That's Sarah Graves, right? I believe.
I think maybe. I'm not sure.
I think it might be, and that can be a little. If I remember correctly, I read all those, and that's a little more edgier. Yeah.
Okay, so Rockette said she had dinner and read 10 pages. Okay, I have to say it. What'd you have for dinner, Rockette?
There you go. What was that one called? Home repair can be murder?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't even see that popping up as anything.
Cajun read 15%. Cajun, wow.
Oh.
And Susan said, I got halfway through chapter 3. All right. And Cozy 18% and Scornful Scones. Not sure where I started. If that was me, I forget to look at where I started and to remember it. And so Cheryl read 2 chapters, and Leanne read 17 pages. Wow, that's good.
Nice.
And Cheryl says, I'm hoping to finish reading this book tonight so I can make 83 books read this year out of my 80 book goal. All right, there you go. You can do it, Cheryl.
Yes, you can.
And Nancy's up to 49%, A Death on the Danube.
Nice.
And Cheryl says, a cozy means that there's an amateur sleuth. In Sue Grafton's book, she is an amateur. That's her opinion, anyways. Well, that's why I also like with the Chief Inspector Gamache, I'm like, he is definitely not an amateur. It's just that small town setting. And I think that's what some people go by. Cozy says, I hope people will not use 1 or 2 series for the whole ABC challenge, but if they want to, that's okay.
No.
I'm not going to.
Leanne So I have S to Y by Sue Grafton yet to read.
If I didn't know that was about letters, I would have thought that was a lot of typos in there.
Well, that's why it took me a minute. I was like, wait, okay. And Kate said, right, Peters was really pushed as a popular cozy mystery series. Oh, Hannah's getting pizza.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, she was going to get, was it mushroom pizza? I think she said earlier today.
Oh.
I remember.
Oh, yeah. Pizza with mushrooms.
And Nancy said, yes, Grafton book can be used for non-cozy mysteries. And Louise Penny, I have a website and is not listed on cozy on mine either. Yeah, and I'm doing like the non-cozy one too, so I can use them for the non-cozy. And she says, when I checked, all cozies did not come up on my Goodread. Yeah. That's the one thing. It's like you have your website and you have your apps, and I swear everything is different. I'm like, why can't they make it the same as like what's on the website is on the app? And it depends on what phone you have too, and that's aggravating.
Browsers matter too. That changes everything too.
That too. Mm-hmm. Cajun says, yes, Sarah Graves is the home repair homicide.
Oh, home repair is homicide. I said murder. That was my fault.
And Cheryl says, I have to look up the ABC challenge. What is it? It is a challenge that Cozy has decided that we were going to do in 2022. And basically, it's just to read a book for each letter in the alphabet. And you're on our Discord, I believe. And so if you go there down below in the threads, there are different threads for that says ABC cozy and ABC non-cozy, in case you're ambitious like me and want to do both of them. And Susan says the first book is the home repair series. It's called Dead Cat Bounce.
Yep, that's Sarah Graves.
Their series, that series is rather edgy. Okay.
Yeah, that's much more edgy.
Nancy says, I think coffee house is considered cozy, but to me, it's in the city and not cozy to me. It's also more gritty. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's not very many cozy mysteries that are set in the city. They're always in a small town. And it's not that I mind a city setting as long as it feels cozy.
You know what it is? I feel like the coffee shop itself is cozy. Like the family that they've built of employees and that they are family from being married and stuff like that. But yeah, that the city's not. But like I like that the blend.
Yeah,
that's what is blend. Like the cozy
the village blend.
Village blend. That's it. Yes, thank you, Sherry.
Yeah, that's one. I only read the first one, and it's been several years ago, so it's like I'll have to start over with the first one and go through. But I remember. I think I liked it well enough. I just never continued. But everybody keeps talking about it, so I'm going to get like FOMO or something. I'm going to have to read. And Cajun says, Susan, love that series. Her new one is cozier. It's resetting of the first. And Cheryl said, okay, gotcha. I'll do that tonight. Yes, I'm on the Discord. I thought she was on the Discord. Mm-hmm. Nancy says, I agree, Cheryl. I think amateur sleuth in small town is a good description. Mm-hmm. I click on one and then somebody pops on there and then I miss it.
Right.
And Susan says, Cajun, I've not started the second series, but it's on my TBR list. And Nancy said she is doing both also. Oh, me and Nancy are ambitious.
You guys are very ambitious.
Are you doing both the ABC?
Yes, I'm doing both.
Yeah. I'm just doing cozy.
Yeah, I thought you said you were just doing cozy. But...
Since I do a lot for middle grade March, I'll be able to put a lot of middle grade in the non-cozy section.
Yeah, well, that's what I figured with.
I mean, a lot of middle grade anyways.
Yeah.
But...
Right.
Well, that's why I was like, with regular mysteries, middle grade, horror, romance, or whatever, I should have plenty.
Yeah.
I think I'll be curious at the end of the year just to look back at my non-cozies and see like how much of that I actually got done or could have gotten done.
Yeah.
And
but you just said middle grade March.
Yeah.
Middle grade May. And I was like saying that to my husband the other day. I'm like, well, I can't read this book yet because I have to wait for Amish in April. And this one's going to be for middle grade May. And this is for March. He's like, what the hell are you doing? Like, aren't you just reading your books? I'm like, no, it's way more than that.
See, it's way more. There's challenges. You got to save them for the challenge.
Like, there's levels to this. That's not where,
Yeah. So Leanne said she was doing the ABC challenge, and said Cheryl says, "Okay, I'm going to do both challenges. Why not?" There you go.
Because of you, Storm, I'm going to try my first Hunter Shea book next year. Nice.
Oh yeah, I'm curious to see what you'll think.
I found one at a rummage sale, so it's sitting in the house. So that'll be the first one I try. I don't remember the name of it offhand, but
cool. Do you have to do the alphabet in order? No, you do not. If I had to do that, it would never get done.
No,
no, for sure, no.
Because I'm so much of a mood reader, I just can't think, what a book am I in the mood?
Right.
I think Elizabeth is going to try to do it in order. Because she's just so more organized than me. I couldn't do it. So Susan, I'm just doing the cozy too, since I'm also doing the SAS challenge again.
There you go. Hi, Mel.
Hi, Mel.
Wait, will not click. Oh, this thing's making me mad.
It happens sometimes, I know.
Okay, so this is hi Storm, hi Lee, hi everyone. I'm not currently reading anything. Going to start a +1 for murder, but I thought I'd stop by for a bit anyway. Well, hi. I liked the +1 for murder, but like I was saying earlier with Tiffany, the main character kind of aggravated me now and then.
I've not read that one. Oh, nice.
It's the first book in the Friend for Hire series.
Oh, okay.
Laura Bradford that we've been talking about. But I've never read a cozy with a reluctant sleuth, and she was really irritating me because it was like she was like blinded to the fact that there was a murder, while her friends wanted like to solve the murder. She's like, I don't know, I don't understand what you're talking about and stuff. Like she just didn't want to even think about it, and I was like, oh, that's driving me crazy.
That's annoying. All right, we're gonna have to mute this because Cheryl's on a.
Oh,
she's taking her letters right now on the challenge.
Yeah, better mute that.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right, I see ABC. I'm like, all right.
There we go. Quiet. Nancy said, I learned a lot about coffee mostly. I read too many in a row, so tired of it. Yeah. Sometimes that happens if there's a big series and you read too many of them. I also think that might have happened a little bit with the Chief Inspector Gamache series because I just wanted to hurry up and get it like caught up. And last year I read like a whole bunch of them. And then this year I only had the 2 to read, but it was like, oh, but I caught up, but I was just like,
but I didn't, I read them all, but most of the Cleo Coyle ones this year, but I didn't read them in a row. I'd read one and then read 2 or 3 or 4 other books in between. And then I'd go back to the other one.
Right.
But it's just that I just love it. It's a bunch of great characters, and I think it's a great series.
And cozy, I actually listened to half of the book, and I really did like the narrator. I had it on reserve, like on hold, at the library of the audio, but there were so many people in front of me, and then it kept saying I was number 1, but it does that sometimes where it says this book is with all these libraries or whatever, and they might have the selection over you or something. So I think it kept skipping me or whatever. And so I'm like, come on, it says I'm number 1. Surely it's not taking them that long to listen to the audiobook. But then I finally got it about halfway through. So I listened to the rest of it and kind of followed along. And I did like the narrator.
Cheryl, I'm not saying don't do it. Go ahead and do them now. It's fine. I was just saying I heard the noise of you posting through everybody's. That's fine. Go ahead and do it.
Well, that's okay, because also sometimes the people on the Book and Bops, they get to go and boppity 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 because they talk a lot on there.
Yes.
Yeah, they do.
And I have to put it on. When I'm trying to make a video, I have to put it on like do not disturb, so it's like not making noise. So I read a lot of non-cozy. I read a lot of non-cozy, so it shouldn't be too hard for me. I read about half of each. Yeah, that's what I figured. We can do. It's gonna be the hard letters, because I'm like, all the easy letters will be easy to do, and then it'll be the ones that are like, if it starts with a K or starts with stuff like that I might not normally read a book, or one of the books that I'm wanting to read won't come up with that. Then I'll have a hard time.
Mm-hmm. That's why I'm trying to do some of the harder letters intentionally first, and then just let everything else fall into place. And then maybe like in October, be like, all right, where do I need to like fill in?
So Mel says, I've been looking forward to it, Ro. I'm glad there's been a lot of positive feedback. Yeah. It was really funny, that book. Dottie cracked me up. She was so fun. And she said, to me, it seemed it was more realistic. She didn't know how to solve a murder because she was just trying to get a new job. And yeah, I understand that part. Like she didn't know how to solve it. But like when her friends were trying to like get her to, she was all like, and it was just like, oh, come on. And when they talk about the victim or something, she's like, who are you talking about? And it's like, really? Did somebody else die? Like, come on. But that's just probably because, I wanted her to be like a little bit more sleuthy, I guess.
True.
Because I still give it 4 stars.
Overboard.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at least she wasn't like fighting with the police. I actually liked the dynamic between her and the cop this time. Like he wasn't telling her to like stay out of it. He was actually talking to her a little bit about it. And so I kind of liked that. It's not too bad. I gave it 4 stars though, so I liked it. I was digging through some boxes of books earlier today, and I found 2 Helvetica. I'm back. Now I have to find the other 2. All right, you almost got it. You got 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Cozy said, my Discord notifications are off on my phone or it blow up all day. Yeah. Well, I usually have my phone on silent anyway, but yeah. Because because Facebook and all that, it annoys me, so I have to turn it on silent. I have them somewhere. Yeah, just got to find them. I, E, and R are surprisingly hard letters for me, I found out doing the fall word challenge. Yeah.
I know the next Camper and Criminals for me, just naturally falling next in line, is an I.
So that's good.
Yeah, so I was just like, all right, I got that one figured out because it's just the next one I'm reading. So
Susan says,
I got that X book you're reading, Lee, and I searched for it yesterday. Somehow it must have gotten either sent somewhere or in the wrong pile, and I gave it sent it to the bookstore or something like that because I was sure I had that book.
Oh
no.
So, but my library does have it, so I still can read it
good
from the library.
So Susan says, I got a book for all letters except X. Any suggestions?
That's the book that we're talking about.
Yeah. So I can't remember I don't know how you say it either.
I don't know how to pronounce it. Exialabal Murders.
I was like, who is the author? Maybe that would help.
Lynn Hamilton. L-Y-N Hamilton.
There. Then you can look it up, and then you can see what he's talking about.
And the series is the Laura McClintock Archaeological Mysteries. I'll spell it though. It's the Xibalba Murders.
And I'm gonna let Lee be the guinea pig, and then let me know if it's good. Because then if it is,
that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, and it does say it's a cozy mystery.
Yeah, because that's why I looked up to try to find it whenever Elizabeth was asking about an X. Because I was like, Lee has one, and I'm like, oh, I don't know how to spell it to even look it up. So I looked up archaeological like cozy mysteries, and then it popped up, and I was like, oh, there it is.
I also know somebody else said the other day for the Kathy Daly, the Inn at Holiday Bay, the first book is Boxes in the Basement, so you could use the X for that.
Yeah.
There's another one that I found out by Caitlin Dunnett. X marks the spot.
Oh yeah.
I think Cozy was going to read that one too.
Yeah, Cozy mentioned that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's where I wrote it down was from her.
And Cozy says, I love the Friend for Hire concept. It was one of my favorite reads of the year. I did like that concept. I thought, and Big Max cracked me up. He was quite funny. A little senior guy hires her to be his date to a party or whatever.
That's funny.
He was funny. And Mel says, my Barnes & Noble store has the other two that I bought a couple years ago, but not the first one. So I bought that one online more recently, and the other two should be together, I hope. Yeah, when I put boxes in or books in boxes and pack them away, then I never know what's in it. It takes forever to find what you need.
I was just cleaning out the top of my closet, which just has boxes of books in it. And Mark's like, what's in these? I'm like, books, don't even open them. We're not even going to go look at them. I'm not debating what I'm throwing out. Just keep them up there for now. We'll move on. He's like, okay. So I have no idea what's in there.
And Nancy says, I think that's what she'll do, Sherry, is not read more than one coffee in a row. They have them on Audible Plus, so that may be better.
Mm-hmm.
And then Cozy said she put some Discord X's in the Discord on the Discord, some X's for anyone who needs them.
Nice.
And Nancy says there are so much going on in the book and Bob, so much conversation. There is. That's why I'm like, a lot of times I'll have to like shut them off when I'm trying to video because it's like pop, pop, and bop, and bob do. I'm like, oh my goodness.
They're very talkative.
Mm-hmm. Cheryl says, I'm planning on rereading and finishing that as I read that as a teenager next year, non-cozy. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure which book.
Susan, I'm hoping to do X marks the spot, yeah. But I have a backup that has an X somewhere in the title. There you go. So at 15 after, we'll do another one. Maybe I can catch that.
Good.
Mail says there's a book from a new series by Kate Kingsbury called In Hot Water for the Eye, if you haven't read that one.
I know my U will be up to no Gouda, so
Yeah.
That was already pre-planned anyway. Like, I was going to read that one anyway, so.
I think that's Cozy's plan too, because I already read it, so I can't count it. But
yeah, I have a U for my non-cozy, but I don't have a U for my cozy.
I haven't even looked. I figured, well, I'll probably be the one trying to find all those the weird letters at the end of the year.
I only did the up to no Gouda because I was like, all right, I've got to find the harder letters. So
I have my cues figured out, but that's about it.
Okay.
My U non-cozy is going to help with part of my binge your bookshelf challenge too as well.
What's that going to be?
That's the one where I'm trying to clear out space on my bookshelf. Trying to
No. What's the U book going to
called
be?
Utopia by Lincoln Child.
Oh, okay.
Cozy says, I hope people will find other books for X. No fun if everyone is reading the same book. Yeah. I have 2 different X's I need to find. So Nancy says, you like a lot of action too, Stormy. There seems to be really important to you. Yes, it is really important to me. Except if I know there's not like, it's weird because like I can read classic books that I know it's not gonna be like real actiony and I can like them, but in certain books I get bored if it's too flowery or if it's too slow. There's too much description.
That's why you didn't like Night Circus.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you use Toxic Toffee?
Can I use Toxic Toffee? Yeah, it's got the X in there. I'm not able to get on Discord anymore for some reason. Oh. But yeah, as long as it has the X in the title, Cozy said that's okay. It goes with all the other hard ones like Z and what is it?
A few other ones.
Yeah, I want to read the PAX series about the fox for middle grade. If I have to use that for X, I might use that for X.
There you go. And Cozy says, I haven't read it, Mel. We'll keep it in mind if I can't find anything. I'm excited for the ABC challenge. Thanks for telling me about it. No problem. Nope, it's 15. I get to read in comments and forget to look at the time. So feel free to tell me if you see it, because I forget. Okay, so we'll read till 45. And happy reading, everybody. Okay, so how did everybody do?
Good. I got 9% done.
Cool.
I've got 29 minutes left.
Oh, nice.
Almost done.
Yeah.
I finished mine.
What were you guys reading?
I was reading The Deceit of the Deeds of the Deceitful. That's it.
Okay.
By
I'm
Ellery
reading-
Adams. It was the latest book in the Hope Street Church mystery series. I thought it was over with number 5, and then I found out there was another one that came out last year, and I didn't even know it.
Oh.
It'd been like there had been a large gap between them, so I thought it was over.
Oh, right.
And so snuck one in on me.
There you go. Now you get another one.
I'm listening to Pony by R.J. Palacio.
Why does that one sound very familiar?
She wrote Wonder.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And so I think this was where I was. Said Cozy said that Susan, yes, you can use toxic toffee. And oh no, did it kick you for being inactive, or did you forget your login information? You can rejoin. That was about the Discord. And Cheryl says, "Oh my goodness, I do know how to type, honestly, but at least I knew what you were talking about."
There you go.
And Susan says, "Okay, thanks. So X can be in the middle of a word. Yeah, I've got books for all of them."
Yeah, there's a few. Like if it's a hard letter, Cozy put like U, X, Z, and a few other. I think there's 5 of them that it could be anywhere in the title. It doesn't have to start with it.
And Cozy said, "Cheryl, I've been planning the ABC challenge for the group for like 6 months. She's super excited." Yes. She had us waiting so long to get this started.
Yeah, she does.
Tiffany always has Discord going off in her videos. Yeah. I know. I always hear it. I'm like, oh, Discord. And Cheryl says, Cozy, I know I've heard of it, but I never really paid attention to it until now. Yeah. Mel says, there is a book by Duffy Brown called Iced Siobhan for I.
Nice.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Susan, Q, U, V, X, Y, and Z are the only letters that can be anywhere in the title. Other letters have to be at the beginning. The words A and the can be skipped if it's the first word in the title. And Cheryl says, I think for the first part of the year, I just looked at the books I wanted to read, and I'll just look at the books that I want to read and add it to the ABC challenge. After that, I'll purposely read books, letters I need. Yeah, that's kind of like me. I'm like, I'll just put like what I have in and then try to fill it in later.
There you go.
Says Mel, I need to go through my Goodreads, so I will find something for every letter. Luckily, I shelved a whole series at a time. You know, that's a good idea. Yeah. She's like so organized on her Goodreads, and I'm like scattered.
I tried to do some organizing over this past week, but it's just like it's so daunting.
And Nancy says In Hot Water is on Audible Plus, and she might use that.
I gotta go for a minute. Kira wants to talk to me. Hold on.
Okay. And then Mel says there's got to be a bunch for E, I, and R. Well, I don't know.
I feel like it's one of those things, once you start looking for it, you can't find it. But if you're not looking, they just come up all the time, you know?
Yeah. Because, well, I'm like, you know, when you think about it, like most cozies start with murder or death.
Right.
And so it's finding those ones that don't start like that.
Mm-hmm.
Cozy says, Mel, there are, but I have already read most of the ones that the letters in my TBR, and none were close to coming up. I will find books for the letters. Just need to plan and search my Goodreads shelves. And that's the problem too. Like I'll find one and it's book 5, and I'm like, well, now I got to read all 5 of those books, because I'm not one of those that can jump. You know, if you can jump, then you know you can find anything.
Yeah, you can go anywhere with that, but no, yeah, if you have to read a bunch first. And then what if you start reading them and you don't like them, and now you don't even want to wait to get to that letter? Then it's like, oh, that was a waste.
I think somebody is starting their fireworks a little early because it's only 7:50, and I swear I'm hearing things going off outside.
I was listening to my book and doing dishes, and they're already doing them. And at 3 p.m. they were setting them off. I'm like, it's still daylight. You can't even see them. Like, what are you setting them off for?
Yeah.
I don't hear any yet in our neighborhood, but I'm sure it won't take long.
Mm-hmm.
Cozy says, I'm not trying to start a ton of new series or just read a book just to read it, so I'm searching my shelves. I like that some letters will be a challenge to get to, yeah.
Cozy, are you doing, and I know since you only do digital, are you doing like read from my own shelf or whatever that is? Or is that something you're doing too? Just curious.
And bend your own shelf can be your shelf in your Kindle. So
yeah. That's what I meant. Yeah. You know what I meant.
Yeah. And so Susan says, thanks, Ro. I'll try Discord again. Not able to be as active as I would like. So that might have been what happened. Okay, Susan, you're more than welcome to rejoin if you want to. Okay. Susan said, Ro, I've got An Early Wake by Sheila Connolly with an E. You haven't read that one.
Okay. I think that's in the Irish series by her. I think I've read that one.
I'm gonna say I don't know that one. Is that like the Cork County or something like that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Hannah, made it home. Going to read Do or Die. Yay! And Nicole said, hi, everyone. Hi, Nicole.
Hi, Nicole.
Hi, Julian.
Hi, Billion.
Took a much-needed nap after the Goldfinch. Ready to get back at it. We'll be reading The Last House on Needless Street by Catriona Ward. And I wish you all the luck in the world because I didn't like that one.
I was on the fence about reading that one.
Yeah. Well, I read that for my horror book club, and like almost everybody in there liked it except for me and my friend.
There you go.
So it's like, but I was like, at least it wasn't just me, because they keep making fun of me and saying I don't like horror, and I'm like, I can't help it if I don't like what you pick.
Right.
Because they want to pick like a lot of indie authors, and sometimes I'm just like super hit or miss with those. So
yeah, I get it.
Let's see. Okay, so Cheryl read 23 pages, and Leanne read 17 pages. And Hannah read 28 pages at 49%.
Nice.
And Julian read up to 21% in The Last House on Needless Street. Are you liking it any more, Julian? I know you just started it. I think you said so you weren't really sure about it, but I was curious. There's a cat POV in there, and it was just really weird. It worked better in the cozy mystery that I read, having a cat POV, than in that one.
In horror?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, and I didn't. Well, it is horror, but I didn't find it scary. I thought it was very boring. So I don't know.
Okay.
But I think that maybe I'm just not liking horror as much as I used to.
Sometimes your tastes change. You know what I mean?
And I do that. I have like phases where I love something and then I don't like it anymore, and so I read something else, and then I'll come back to it later, and then I'll like it again. So. Yeah. Which is what happened to romance. I used to read romance like all the time, and then I quit and I just read mysteries and horrors all the time. And now I'm back to where I'm kind of liking reading the romance again. So
there you go. Just phases.
A long time ago, I used to read a lot of historical romance, but I don't read any of that anymore.
Yeah.
I used to be really big, like not even like when I was younger, but just a few years ago, a lot of YA, and now I'm like, I don't even want to pick that up. It happens. That
happened to me with the YA a lot too. Mm-hmm. Elizabeth says, I just finished A Dark and Silent Midnight by Julia Buckley. It was the last book on my SAS list. All right. Yay.
Congratulations.
Well, I just finished my last book for my SAS list, though it wasn't my last book on my SAS list.
I stopped. I only made 20. I didn't get to 21.
That's pretty good, though.
I'm like, I'm fine.
Well, there were 4 series that I didn't even touch.
Oh, okay.
But I read now, since I read that one, I read 57 books total off of the SAS list.
Nice.
And caught up on now 10 series because I just finished that one. So, but I'm like, I just made my video about it, and that's what I've been editing. And I'm like, I'm not going to make it again just because I finished that one. So,
yeah,
I can hear it's like boom, boom, boom outside. It's driving me crazy. Cajun said, got distracted with Amazon delivery and forgot where I started, but up at 83%. Up to 83%. Yeah, woo, Elizabeth.
nice.
Nancy's at 63 or 63. Where in the world did I get 3 at? 60% of Death on the Danube. And Cajun, you finally got to the murder at Nancy Abbott. It's a long time coming. Oh, so is that the one that it doesn't get to the murder till like 60%?
Oh, yeah.
That would drive me crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, me too.
Yeah. Because, like, isn't that the point to spend the book solving the murder?
Yeah, that's what I would think.
Yeah.
And Elizabeth said R was kind of hard for me too. Yeah. And me too, Storm. I have to read in order, yes. Nancy says, sort of, yeah, I don't mind when it happens, but some people like it right away. I'm enjoying all the descriptions of Budapest. Okay.
Nice.
So, but Hannah says there's fireworks going off on the drive home. Sounds like it's raining outside. I don't know.
It was drizzling a little before here.
We're supposed to get rain, but I didn't think it was till tomorrow. No, maybe it was supposed to start tonight, and that's why it's going to get cold tomorrow. And Cozy said, yes, Lee, I'm doing Elizabeth Binger Shelf Challenge.
Okay.
And I'm trying for 22 Kindle books I own. There you go. And Hannah says, I have 20 plus books from last week. That's a lot of books.
Mm-hmm.
I did enjoy the story before the murder, but I was surprised how long it took. Okay. Cozy says, vitamin C, Lee. Have hubby get some emergency.
Yeah, I was at the store the other day. There was no emergency. There was no airborne. So I'm going to probably, after we eat and watch wrestling tonight, I'm going to probably dope myself up with some Robitussin and go to bed. Just deal with it.
When do you need to hop off? Is there?
I'm good right now.
You're good. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And Nancy said, at Jillian, I enjoyed the Goldfinch, as did my husband, but many opinions on that one also. Yeah. Hannah said, so I did my numbers and I read 53% Cozy Mysteries this year. Wow.
And didn't you just start reading Cozy Mysteries this year too, Hannah?
I think she did.
Mm-hmm.
It took me a minute to decipher what she's talking about, but the House on Needless Street is really good. And I think these characters are kind of cringy. Yeah, they are kind of cringy. I'm really curious to see if you figure out the twist before it happens or if it shocks you. That's what I want to know. Because I think that's what got some people, but I had already kind of guessed it before it happened. So it was like, oh. Awesome, Hannah. Yeah. Nancy says, I have phases, my mood, and also as I get older, I appreciate different books, the more on a reread. Yeah.
I don't do too many rereads.
I don't do a whole lot, but I do have some series that I think I could reread if like the series ends. Like the Veronica Speedwell series. I'm trying to collect all the books in that series because eventually I know it'll end, and so then I could just reread it again.
There you go.
I've read this is the first year I've read as many. I don't do a lot of rereads either, but I read more this year than I've read in I don't know how long. Because with reading Wind in the Willows and a couple of Stephen King's that I reread, and then I read The Outsiders with Hannah, which I loved. Now there's a classic I loved. It's not what I guess it's what you would call a modern classic, but it's still I could see that movie in my mind. I could see Ralph Macchio and I could see T.C. Thomas Howell, and the book was as marvelous the second time as it was the first time.
Nice.
I've watched the movie, but I've never read the book.
Me either.
And Cozy said, Julian, I didn't want this book to put you in a bigger slump since you didn't enjoy Goldfinch. I don't want you to want it to, yeah. And at Nancy said, I liked the Goldfinch at first, but when I got to Boris appearing in New York City during the latter half of the book, I just stopped caring about the plot and characters. It felt way too long to me. And I hate that when it happens when you're enjoying it and then suddenly it just takes a down spike.
I know you liked Every Last Fear, and I got to a certain point in there, and when they introduced the person who organized everything, I knew he did it, and it went downhill from there for me. It's like, boy, that was easy to figure out. It was him. And
yeah, see, I didn't figure it out.
They introduced him to the person, and I'm like, that person did it and organized it and stuff like that, and I was right, and I'm like, oh my god,
yeah, that takes all the fun out of it whenever you guess it.
So good until that point, and I couldn't believe, and then that I got it right. I couldn't believe that I got it right because I don't get a lot of things right, but I knew right away that it was that particular person, and it's like, oh, because I was walking downstairs listening, ooh, and then I'm like, but that person did it, and yep, he did.
The 20 series is fantastic.
Thanks, Cozy.
And Leanne says, plus in the middle of a pandemic, horror could get on your last nerve.
Yeah.
And Elizabeth says, for E, I have two different series where I am up to a book that starts with E, but yet I'm tempted to read A Claire in Present Danger since Tiffany has raved about it so much. I do like that. I think it's a fun. I wished it would have been more, but Susan said I should do the binge my shelf challenge, which should include my Kindle ebook. Yes. I was making my video for my new series about series list, and I went and grabbed all the books that I had so I could hold them up and say, look, see, I'm binging books off of my own shelf. I had books like all over my desk over here. It was crazy.
That's funny.
The only bad thing about that is then I had to go put them all back.
I was just going to say, and then you have to fix everything again.
Yeah. Cody says, the SAS challenge helped me shape my reading year. I wouldn't have read as many series without it. Yeah, I think that's the same for me. And I mentioned that in my video too, that I do think it helped me. Because even though I read a whole lot more series than just the ones there, like altogether, I think I caught up and or finished 40 series altogether.
Wow.
So that's not bad. And so, yeah, there's 27 of those series, or 20, somewhere around there, was not even on my like SAS list. They were just extra series that since I started that, I started looking at other series and started trying to read more off of them. So.
Yeah, I wanted to thank Elizabeth for that SAS because I became more focused. I finished 35 series altogether because of her challenge. And thank you very much, Elizabeth.
Yes, thanks, Elizabeth.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun too.
Yeah. And so Julian says, thanks, Ro. My plan is to just blast through it tonight and start fresh tomorrow. Planning on starting a New Year's cozy tomorrow, so that should help with the slump. There you go.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm not a seasonal or like a a holiday reader, so I don't even think about looking up something like a New Year's cozy to even read.
Mm-hmm.
And Nicole says, I'm on chapter 25 of Devil Food Cake Murder. Cool.
Nice.
And Nancy says, yeah, I saw mixed feelings on that one, so I gave it a chance because I loved Secret History so much. It was my top 10 books of the year. I think both of those books are kind of like either people like really like them or they don't like them.
I was so looking forward to the Secret History, and I DNF'd it. I thought it was super boring.
Yeah, that's why I thought I remembered you DNF that one.
Yeah, which I really wanted to like it.
So it's raining there. Yeah, so I think I hear maybe that'll put a damper on the fireworks.
That's what I'm hoping. Yes. Yeah.
So my dog really doesn't like fireworks, and I'm really happy that she hasn't really realized they're going off because she's just laying there nice. Susan said, I've never read in order until years ago when a character in the series was killed off, and I found it hard to read the earlier books where she was still alive. Since then, I've been a team in order. Yeah, that'll do it. And Hannah said she started in July. Yeah, so that's like really well. That's like half the year, and she read 53% cozies after the halfway mark of the year.
Yeah.
Question for the host. Any series or books you are particularly looking forward to in the new year? Doesn't need to be a new release.
I'm just going to say it could be because Hannah joined a cult in July. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, yeah, it could be. Where's Tiffany out?
Series I'm really looking forward to.
Okay.
Hmm.
Well, I am always looking forward to the next Veronica Speedwell book, and it comes out in February, and I have a e-arc of it. My friend has an e-arc of it, so we're going to read it next month. So
I think really just a lot of the Kathy Daly books I'm really looking forward to catching up on, like all of the Bay series. And then just like the little catch-up books like Coffee House Mystery,
Yeah,
A New Library Lovers, A New Cupcake Mystery, like just like catching up on, just getting the next installment in a series, but overall Kathy Daly.
And I do think I'm a little intrigued because Tiffany likes it so much, and Hannah, I believe, likes it so much. So I'm doing a buddy read of Class Reunions or Murder by Libby Klein, and so I'm really curious to see if I'm going to like it or not. So.
Yeah, finishing the Libby Klein series, finishing the Deputy Donut series, and then of course the new Cleo Coyle one, finishing up the other series by her, which I have 2 books left in, and I don't know. And David Rosenfeld has 2 books coming out this next year that I'm really looking forward to.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to starting some new series for me, but they're older series.
Yeah, I think that's why Cozy even said it doesn't have to be new releases, but just even that, like
I've always wanted to try the Lucas Davenport series
Mm-hmm.
by John Sanford, and so I'm going to try that. And
it's a good series, but the last thing we started talking about was the pandemic.
Yeah, and I'm
reading this book.
Do that.
I'm reading this book, and his wife is saying we got this really bad virus, and I think it's going to be and I think it's going to have big problems for America, and that's how it ended. I'm like, oh, okay.
So that's like one of the reasons why I didn't like the new Lois Penny book too, is because they had to have the pandemic in it. And I'm like, really, we're living through it. We don't want to read about it. Yeah. Authors, skip over it. Make something happy and nice.
Yeah.
But I guess they see money signs in or whatever, dollar signs or whatever, and so I never used to reread, but all of a sudden I'm rereading a lot. Yeah. I reread a lot of classics, I think, more than regular, just modern day books, because I reread like Jane Austen books and my Jane Eyre. I like that one to reread, stuff like that.
Okay.
And Cozy said, Hannah, I remember when I was new to Cozy's, I wanted to read everything. It took me a few years to slow down. Yeah. The Outsiders was so good. And Cozy said, I discovered I enjoy rereads this year. I'm actually rereading a series now to get to the newest book. New book came out in it, series 3 or 4 years later. Undercover Dish, yeah. And see, that's like with mine, like the Hope Street. I could have sworn that like the last time a book came out and it was like, I don't know, like maybe 2017 or 8. So I really thought it was over. But I think maybe it was over for that publisher. And I think she might have either got a different publisher or self-published like this one or something. So I'm thinking maybe she just got her rights back or something.
Nice. That could be.
And Hannah said, I reread The Old Man and the Sea and To Kill a Mockingbird.
To Kill a Mockingbird is Kira's favorite book of all time.
I've never read that. I just don't know if I want
I've
to or
never
not.
read it either. And she keeps looking at me like, Mom,
Did she read the sequel that had just recently come out a couple years ago?
She didn't. She hated that.
Okay.
A lot of people did.
Yeah, that's why I
hated
asked.
that one.
And Susan says, the only series I've reread was the Stephanie Plum. I'm going to be reading that for the first time, too. I have the first book in the Stephanie Plum series, so I'm going to give it a go and see what I think.
I just finished the latest one. And just when you think I can't love Lula and Grandma Mazer anymore, you read the next book and you just fall in love with them all over again.
Thank you, Nancy.
So she's changing how she reads her cozies in 2022. Yeah, you get going on it, and then you realize there's a lot of books in these series, so you can't just read book one before you know it. You're like us. You've read all the book ones, and you need to catch up. Says Hannah, I think you are already doing a great job continuing series and not just reading book ones because you want to try everything. Yes, she is.
Mm-hmm.
So well. Elizabeth said, so glad that you guys are enjoying the SAS challenge. Wow, yes, I did good.
You did.
I was proud of myself because whenever I looked through, I was like, oh, I really did really well. And it says, wow, Stormy, you really read tons. I think a lot of people felt that SAS was a great focus. Yes, it was.
It really was.
Yes, the SAS challenge definitely helped me complete several series and read more in others. So thanks, Elizabeth. I'm doing a different approach with SAS challenge in 2022, but I still hope to finish some series, make progress in others. I know I won't finish 22 series next year, but I just want to make progress. And even that's a good accomplishment. Though.
Yeah, it really is.
Hannah says, I don't want to try everything, but I think I did a good job. I do want to try everything, but I think I did a good job of reining myself in. Yes, you did. I want to try the SAS challenge, and I made it a third of the way there. So, yeah.
Still great.
Yeah. Who said, I finished and caught up with 36 series this year. Never expected to do that well. Yeah, that is really well.
Mm-hmm.
So, Hannah, you did a great job. Yeah. And there was a tornado outbreak on 4th of July, and our neighbors didn't care.
Now there was fireworks.
Fireworks everywhere, yeah. Mm-hmm. Who cares if there's a tornado coming?
Mm-hmm. The fireworks are in the tornado now, it's like...
It's raining, and I can still hear them shooting off fireworks, so it's not helping any. Cajun said, my SAS is going to be 20 to finish, 22 progress in, and 2 new to me.
That's a good one.
See, now you did yours the good way, and me, I did the 20 to progress in, 20 to start. Because I knew I was going to start a whole bunch of series anyway, so. I'm like, I own it. I'm a series reader, and I'm always going to, start.
Make it work.
Okay, so are you okay to do another half-hour sprint, or are you going to have to get off?
I have to go at 9 your time.
9 my time? Okay. So you can still
do
another
half hour. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, so we can do another one at 15 and then. Okay. It's like I don't have anything better to do, so.
I forgot wrestling was even on tonight, so I was like, oh, okay, yeah.
But you'll get put in timeout. Uh-oh.
Listen, I'm part of that cult too, whether I want to admit it or not. So
Yeah.
what can I
Yeah,
say?
it's like we all joined up on that
Yeah.
cult this year. So,
We're all there.
so Cozy's most anticipated series is To Try the Graywell Inn by Karen McInerney. And also the audio, The Campers and Criminals. Okay, so read till 45.
Mhm.
Okay, so happy reading, everyone. So how did everybody do?
I'm at 27% of my book.
Cool.
I finished my audiobook and I made it to page 70 in my physical book.
Nice. How about you, Storm?
I started. Elizabeth told me that she had a book for me to read. It was The Christmas Basket by Debbie May Comer, and that it was kind of short because it's only like 5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm 19% into it now. It's pretty funny so far.
Nice. Nice. I gotta see if I read that one.
Trying to find where I left off.
No, not yet. Okay.
I think I was maybe here. Cozy says, I'm also excited to start a new to me series. Was super focused this year, so to start so this year, time to start a new series again.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a reward. You did really good with your series, so then you could start a new series.
Right.
And Susan says, are the David Rosenfeld books from his Andy Carpenter and the K-Team series?
Yes, they are.
There, okay. And Hannah says, I don't want to read about the pandemic until I'm really old. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I can read about other pandemics, that are made up and things. That's fine. I just don't want them to use the actual one and say the words COVID and all them kind of things. And that's what they are doing. And it's just like, no, it's too early.
Yeah.
And Mel says, I have several long-running series that I haven't started yet. So one of my 2022 goals is to start a few of them. I think I'm going to start Coffee House, Tea Shop, Bibliophile, and Bake Shop.
Nice.
I am going to be starting the Bibliophile one as well. And I believe the Bake Shop one. That's the Ellie Alexander one, I think. And so, yeah.
I love the Bibliophile one. That's a great series.
Cozy says, I'm excited that some authors are getting the rights back to go with new publishers. I've seen it happen a lot more. Yeah, I am too. And Hannah says, I want to be 80 and reading historical fiction about 2020. There you go.
There you go.
And Mel says, by a long-running series, I made more than $10. And Nancy says, I reread classics, but also old cozies like Elizabeth Peters, Carola Dunn, Dorothy Sayre, and Dana Motz Davison.
Mm-hmm.
Some I never got far in, and I need to read Mockingbird. It's actually on hold. Okay.
Dorothy Sayers can be very. I read her a while back. My mom used to like her, but I find her very wordy. And if you want to learn about something, you can. She said she has a book about bells, and she said she talks so much about bells that it was so boring.
I'm going to try Dorothy L. Sayre, Whose Body? It's the Peter Wimsey. It's like one of my series that I want to try. But I was really shocked and surprised whenever I watch Books Like Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't like Whose Body, and so she's not reading Dorothy L. Sayre, but she's like a huge Agatha Christie fan, so she thought she would like Dorothy L. Sayre, and she did not like her. So I'm like, oh no. Well, maybe I'll like her, hopefully, but if not, I said if I don't like the first in a series, then I'm just knocking it off my list and going to add a different one.
There you go. There you go.
And that's me right now. I'm so overwhelmed with the amount of cozies I want to start. Since I'm new to the genre, I think I need to accept that I can't always read them in seasonal order. Yeah.
Yeah, true.
And Hess says, my mom hated the sequel to Kill a Mockingbird.
I haven't heard anybody liked it. So
I haven't either.
Yeah.
Who said, same Mel, I want to read a lot of backlist, a longer series. That's why I'm not making a goal to finish 22 series. And it says, I'm definitely going to be binging series in 2022. And Cody said, Julian, yes, it's hard to read them in seasonal order, but Christmas in summer is fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And you can always do Christmas in July. Remember that. That's what I do. That gives me an excuse to read the cozies out of season.
And sometimes the summer one in winter is nice just to kind of like to get away.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nancy says, I am just working on progress of series next year, which is a good goal too. Mel says, I'm only starting one long-running series this year, The Flower Shop, but I only read 1 through 4, so I want to read more of it in 2022. And Elizabeth says, and remember the sass is any types of books, they don't need to be cozy mysteries. Yep. Yeah, I try to put like a bunch of regular mysteries and a bunch of cozy mysteries. That way I at least keep up with my cozies and don't put them in the back burner. But I have read like way more cozies, I think, this year than I've read in a long time. And it's because I met everybody from the Killing Time with Cozies group.
Right.
Well, my second list of 20 books is the next 20 books I need to read in the Nancy Drew series.
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
And Cozy says, Mel, I read the first Flower Shop series, read the first Flower Shop book, I think, in 2015, and just finished the last book this year. The series got repetitive, but it was one of the first series that I started, and it is sentimental to me. And Hannah said, I willingly asked Tiffany for recommendations on Discord. I think you warned me afterwards.
As you know, I've been threatened about forewarning people, so, you know.
Yeah. And Mel says, Ro, have you read Kate Collins' Goddess of Green Street series? I really like that one. I guess I didn't even know she had a different one because I've just always heard the Flower Shop series when it comes to her. Yeah. And Nicole said, I finished Devil Food. All right. Finished. Yay. Hannah says, I kind of like Lemon in Library Lovers. She's so strict and by the book that it's comical when other characters have to interact with her. Yeah. That's why I said she's kind of like the character you love to hate. You don't like hate her. You just love to kind of hate her.
Yes.
Because she's so strict. And Leanne said 14 pages read, 16 more to go. This book is for tomorrow. All right. Nice. Cozy read 27% through her audio. And Coach said, Mel, no, I haven't tried her other series. Cajun said read 37%. Wow, Cajun just a reading away.
Really?
Oh, short book, 137 pages. I was going to say, because you've been like reading like. And Hannah said read 55% or 55 pages at 69%. And Elizabeth said, I only got 1 chapter read, but I still have 7 more chapters to read before midnight. I am reading A New Leaf by Thomas Kidd. You can do it. Mm-hmm. And Cody said, getting ready to leave soon. I'm ready for some appetizers. Diet starts tomorrow. Yeah, exactly. Diet starts tomorrow. Yeah. And I've got to really get back to being serious about that. So have fun, Cozy, and enjoy some yummy appetizers for me.
Enjoy.
Isn't it sad that serious about diet is sad?
Yeah. And Liv says, Hannah, it will be something to tell your grandkids about. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Bye and Happy New Year. Oh, that's dumb old robot. Got to 27% in the last house on this. Nice. Cozy says, I'm loving Diane Mott Davison series. Just finished book 5. It's top 3 favorite series to listen to on audio for sure. It's from the 90s, so if you like fluffy, fast-paced cozies and it's not for you, then I will not try it. And Nancy says, I saw also Storm on books like Whoa. I think it's a reread for me. I'll have to look up and see what I rated it. Minimal. Oh, made it to 70% on Danu. Okay. I just read a summer book and it was nice. They were sweating and I was freezing. Happy New Year's, Hannah. Leaving soon, not yet though. Hubby in the shower. Okay. And Cajun said there was quite a bit of growth in the Goldie Schultz series too.
Yeah, there was.
And Hannah just put the next library lovers on.
Yay!
Yay! Cornflower says, Elizabeth, you always have a lot of motivational ideas and challenges for getting books ready. She
Yes,
does.
you do.
And Cozy said, Cajun, I don't know what it is about the Goldie Bear series, but I'm hooked. Oh, so Nancy said she originally gave Whose Bodies 4 stars, but I remember one thing. I don't remember one thing. It may be different now. Yeah. And Mel said, The Goddess of the Green Street, there's only 3 books so far. The books came out last month. Book 3 came out last month. I just picked it up this week. It's a favorite series of mine. And Cozy said, Ollie is funny, sad, serious about diet is sad. Yeah.
It is.
And she said, there's like 75% filler, 25% mystery. And go, yeah, then I probably wouldn't like that. And Cody said she just got married, but I still calling her Goldie Bear and not Goldie Schultz. So, yeah. Well, that would be hard to switch if the character gets married and you have to use the last name.
Very true. All right, guys, I'm going to jump off here so I can get myself set up. Thank you so much for having me on, and Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy
New
New Year.
Year.
Bye.
See you guys. Bye.
Bye. So, Sherry, do you have a book that you're going to start with? Like tomorrow, it's going to be the book you're going to start with, or are you going to still be reading on a book?
No, I think since this is a middle grade and it's real short, I think I'll be able to finish it by the end, by midnight. Pretty sure. Audiobook, I'm pretty sure I'm going to start with a 1-hour book that's for one of Lee's challenges in her readathon, because it's a 1-hour book and it'll be short. And then,
I'm going to start with Mary Poppins because it's like 3 hours, I think.
Yeah,
so
it's very short.
Get it done. I've read it before, and I know it's like so different than the movie version.
My mom used to tell me when she read it, she remembers most vividly the laughing at the ceiling in the book. And she would talk to me all about that. She says she read it and you could just picture it in your mind before you saw the movie. Just if you just read the book, she wrote it so well that she could picture in her mind them laughing at the ceiling. But physically, I'm not sure which one I'm going to start with yet. The 1-hour book is for the Edwardian prompt because I survived the sinking of the Titanic. It's a 1-hour book.
Oh, hey, there you go.
I own the book, but I just don't feel like digging in the totes to try to find the book that I have. Yeah. Because I have 2 totes full of Titanic books, and I'm like, I don't feel like. And since it was a 1-hour audio book, yeah, why not listen to it and get it over with right away? But physically, I don't know what I'm going to start with. I have a huge pile of books.
Well, I am going to start The Count of Monte Cristo because, that is a hefty one, and I want to try to finish it at the end of the month. And if I read enough on it every day, I should be able to. And then I want to do the Mary Poppins one. And I also might start the Snobbery with Violence by MC Beaton because I think it'll be kind of a quick one to get done. Then that'll be 2 for the Mary Poppins. And then I only have 1, and it's an e-arc that I have to actually read, so that will take a little bit longer. But I almost have my Mary Poppins done.
I'm really leaning towards the Mrs. Jeffries book to start as my first physical book because that's just one of my all-time favorites. And when I found out there was a new one and it was out, I said, I got to use it for murder, and I got to use it for England, and I can use it for there's characters very into the suffragette movement, so I can use it as for the women's rights things as well.
Oh, well, there you go.
So it covers 3
3 prompts.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I just picked out 3 prompts on her board, and I thought I'm just going to do those 3 prompts, and I have a mini bingo, and there we go.
Yeah. I'm not going for a blackout because there's some things I'm not sure I'm going to do, but if I don't get to some of them, and they're not going to be real high priorities.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
you just-
my problem was I couldn't fit the books that I wanted to read into the prompts.
I mean, and then for the artistic one, I chose audiobook. I chose the perfect book. It's an autobiography read by Dick Van Dyke. So I figured that'll be perfect for the artistic since he is Bert. And
Yeah. I think for mine or the artistic, I think I was using it for the cover and not what's inside the book. Because I don't know if it's artistic, I don't think, until you actually read a book. It's kind of hard to know what's inside.
Mm-hmm. Unless you know the theme.
So, Hannah, what 3 books are you starting tomorrow? And Nancy says, sometimes the mystery is secondary to me, not always, but sometimes I like the story and characters. Yeah, it depends really on the series. If it's something that I really enjoy, then it doesn't really bother me too much. And I can tell, like, if it's a favorite series, then I want to have fun with the characters. But if it's just a okay series, I want to get the mystery and get going.
Yeah, I feel that way too.
Mel said, Library of Lovers is another long-running series on my TBR. It will probably be a 2023 series, start along with Cupcake Bakery. I want to read them together like I read Amish Candy Shop and Matchmaker together.
You might want to put the Hat series in with that too, because you're going to have crossover from Hat series to the Cupcake series.
Yeah, I was like, if anybody would know where any crossovers in those series are going to be, it would probably be Sherry. Because, see, I never read the Hat one, so, like, you got the references in the one Library Lovers series because you had known, but, yeah, I wouldn't have never known that was people that were in her other series.
And it was in the, it was in the Cupcake series. They were talking about seeing something on the internet, that's the event that sent the character from the Hat series to England in the first place. So they're talking about this event between themselves, Mel and Angie. And so I'm like, oh wow, look at crossover. So yeah, there are little bits of throughout that whole thing. So Mel, yeah, you might want to add the Hat Shop series to that as well and find out publication dates and things like that.
Yeah. So Nancy says the counts on audio on Hoopla and Audible Plus too. I love the first Mrs. Jeffries too, Sherry. I'll be continuing. It's right up my alley. See, we're all starting Mary Poppins because it's a really quick, easy one to get done.
Yeah.
Mary Poppins, Meet Your Baker, and A Whisker of Trouble. Okay.
Sophie Ryan.
Yeah.
I love Sophie Ryan.
Me too.
But then she's Sophie Kelly, and that's one of my Magical Cats is one of my top 3 series of all time.
I need to start that series, and I think I saw where I could get the first book in that series, so I will have to. That's another one that's going to be added onto my list of series that I want to try.
It's a wonderful series. She's a wonderful writer.
Yeah, I like the Second Chance Cat series, so I'm pretty sure I will like the other series too.
I just finished The Fast and the Furriest, and it kind of was like,
Library Lovers is most anticipated series for her next year. Yay. And Mel said, oh yes, I have the Hat Shop books. I'm going to read those 3 series together in publication order. There you go. That's cool. Mel said, someone on the Cozy Mystery list suggested reading McKinley's series together in order, so I made a spreadsheet. Oh, well, there you go. That's cool. That is one thing when they have all those different series, they do kind of do that. Because even Lynn K. Hoon does that with some of her books. Like one of the ladies from the Tourist Trap series ends up in her Kat Latimer series because she does writing retreats.
Okay.
And one of the ladies from that other series was wanting to be a writer.
Okay.
And so she ends up at one of the retreats. And so I was like, oh, I know that person. Mel says, I love magical cats. That's one of the first cozy series, and it's one of my top favorites. Cool.
Being a cat person, I just like, okay, I'm taking those 2 cats and I'm bringing them home with me. Like, they're so cute. I just love them.
I am not a cat person, but I
know.
seem to read a lot of cozies with cats in them. I'm more of a dog person. I've never owned a cat.
There's been a cat in this house since the day I was born. So.
And I think I've probably had a dog about like that too.
Yep.
Always had a dog. I did. Well, I take it. I did. We did have a cat whenever I was little.
Okay.
We did have a, but after that, yeah, I didn't have a cat.
We had a couple of dogs, and when I was really, really little, we had a bird named Cookie. And I don't remember. I remember the bird, but Mom used to talk about him. Cats, I remember. Bird. Mm-mm.
We used to have this mama cat that was pregnant all the time.
Oh my.
Because it was an outside cat, so
Okay.
that's probably why I forgot about it, is because it was just an outside cat. So. Mel says, I feel a tad behind though and have to read the last 3. I have them and plan to get caught up in 2022. And Hannah loves animal cozies.
Oh, and Hannah. So do I. They're my favorite kind of cozies. Absolute favorite.
I do like it when there's animals in my cozies. I don't necessarily like it when the animal's like the main character or something, or like talks that much. I don't know.
Yeah, the cats talk in the Joe Gray series.
Yeah.
I started.
Those are a little strange.
Yeah, I started reading that series and then I just fell off of it because I'm like.
Although I do like the Jules and Bun series, and there's the bunny talks to her in her mind.
In the Rena Mae Brown series, the Mrs. Murphy series, the cats really don't talk, but they talk to each other in their meowing and their barking, and they talk to each other that way. The people, they never talk to the people with like words, but you hear the conversations between the dogs and the cats and the other animals. The animals talk to each other in their own little language. But other than that, and I like that. I'm behind in that series, but I do like that series.
And Hannah says, I had all kinds of animals growing up. I used to show goats.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
And Paula says, cats are the best, although I might be a bit biased. And here you go, Sherry. Can you recommend a really good dog cozy? I've only read about 3 cozies so far.
Dog. Well, I think they're considered cozies, but it's the Paw Enforcement series by Diane Kelly. She's a police officer, and her partner is a canine. I love that series. Bridget the dog. And what's kind of more edgy cozy is the Chet and Bernie series by Spencer Quinn.
Is the Andy Carpenter one
that one too?
Dog?
Yeah.
Okay.
Andy Carpenter is one of the best dog series too.
I haven't ever tried it, but I thought it was a dog series.
Yep. He does David Rosenfeld does exactly what Andy Carpenter does. He's got a dog rescue, and he's got a nonfiction book about picking up some dogs from another part of the country and transporting this huge load of dogs back to where he is. It was a very interesting nonfiction book that I read by him too.
Cool.
Speaking of cats,
Nancy says she loves animal cozies too.
Yes. I'm surprised you didn't talk.
I did borrow a Jessica Fletcher cozy from my mom this week, though. Excited to read it. That's like my favorite show to watch. Like it's actually on the TV right now, just muted. But I've never read any of the books, and I'm going to try some of those, I think, next year. And Mel said Jules and Bun is another 2022 series I'm reading. I saw them on Barnes and Noble email recommended list, and I thought they were cute. Yeah, they are cute.
Yeah, the Jules and Bun
Hannah says, I think the first book is called Baker's Dozen, but it's a dog cozy series. Yes, I've seen that. I think somebody mentioned that in the Discord because, like, isn't that the one like all the books were like free at the time or something like that? I think. Not sure, but I think. I can tell it's getting colder in here. I'm starting to get cold.
There are dog series I have to read. I know that the Pet Rescue series by Linda O. Johnson is on my and I need to eventually get back to Lauren Berenson's dog show. She owns standard poodles.
Yeah, like most of the series that I have is like the dog, there's a dog in it, but I don't know if it's necessarily like the focus. Like, the Cajun Country series has Gopher, who's like my favorite dog. That series is by Ellen Byron, and he's a Basset Hound.
I love Basset Hounds. So there's them with, especially when they're puppy and they're falling all over their ears.
Yeah, they're cute. So if you're up for it, I think at 15 after we'll do one more.
Sounds good.
And then I'll wrap it up.
Oh, that sounds
after
good.
That. Okay. And Hannah said, Dogged by Death is also a dog cozy. Okay. And Hannah says, yes, and it has a boxer on the cover. Macy was happy, I think.
I'm starting this month. We're so close to the end of the year. I'm already calling it January. But next month I'm starting it's by Bethany Blake, but it's a dog series. The first book is called Death by Chocolate Lab.
Oh yes, I've read all of those except for the very last one. I like that series.
I have the first one on my list. I'm getting it from Hoopla on audio.
Corn Ferrar said, thanks for the Rex. You are welcome. We have to take Tiffany's spot when she's not here. Okay. Bye, Lee. Happy New Year. See you next year.
Bye.
It's always weird to say that. See you next year, and like it's
Yeah.
Just a few hours from now next year. I sure hope 2022 is going to be like really good year.
I hope things get better. We've had a rough past few years, that's for certain.
Yeah. We need that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow or something like that.
Yeah.
And Mel says Cornflower. I haven't read them yet, but the Lucky Paw Pet Sitting series has lots of dogs on the cover. And I've read that series. I know that name sounds familiar.
Linda O. Johnson has a pet sitting series too.
Lucky Paw. That's not the Bethany Blake one, is it?
It might be.
Lucky Paw.
Yep,
it is.
It is. I was gonna say that sounds really familiar, and I'm like,
well, that's what I was like. I know I read that series, so that sounded like
I'm
that's a
not sure
good
what
series.
it's called. I know it. Linda O. Johnson she's got quite like 3 or 4 different series dogs. She's got 3 different dog series. I know that for certain. Linda O. Johnson.
Yeah, I think I have one of her books on my shelf somewhere. It's from, I think, the series that you said you want to read.
The Pet Rescue?
Yeah, the Linda O. Johnson, yeah. I think I won it or somebody sent it to me or something. I don't remember.
I've got a couple in the Pet Rescue, but I don't have the first. But I think the first one, I think I can get at the library. So I'm not
I
worried.
have faith in you, Hannah. You are going to finish that book so you can go to bed.
You are. I'm going to be up till midnight finishing mine. I know it.
Well, that's a good way to ring in the new year. I told my aunt, I said, I'm going to be on lives reading with my friends. I said, book nerds unite. We're going to be reading on. She goes, that sounds very boring. I said, not if you're a reader.
No. I mean, what else? Even if I wasn't on the live, I would be sitting because there's no basketball game today. So I would be reading. There's not a basketball game till tomorrow.
Do you read during the basketball games, or do you?
I do.
You watch.
I've been reading and watching TV for as long as I can remember.
Yeah, I do too. I do the same thing. That's why I said I don't like shows that have subtitles, because
then I have to
I can't read my book. I have to pay attention to the DVD.
Yep.
So yeah, it has been a difficult year. So we're all going to agree that 2022 is going to be a really good year. And I just noticed that it's 16 after. So
all righty.
Read till 45, and happy reading, everyone. Okay, so how'd you do?
43 pages.
Hey, that was pretty good.
A little middle grade, you know.
Yeah, that does help. And so I'm at 34% into
Good.
the Christmas basket
You
for just
liking it?
starting it. That's not too bad.
Do you like it so far?
Yeah, it's pretty funny. It's like it's about these two families that are feuding. It's the mothers. Something happened, and they used to be friends, but now all they do is feud. And then the daughter on one side and the son on the other side, they dated when they were younger, and then they had something happened, and they broke up. And the one thinks it's because of the other one's mother or whatever it is,
I
and
see.
now they're like older, and it's her first time seeing him after all these years, and it's
Ah, I
pretty
see.
funny. It's pretty funny. And so Nancy said she's going to be up late reading also. So, boy, there for a minute I thought, oh no, my computer like was messing up, and I'm like, I have to restart it. It's
Oh,
like,
no.
hopefully you don't disappear while I'm gone. At least it didn't take very long, so that was good. So Nancy said she's at 80%. Oh, yeah. So it won't take you very long, Nancy, to finish that up before it's
No.
time to go to bed. And Cajun said, good timing. Just finished my book, 4 stars. Yay. Oh, but Nancy's going to switch to tourist attraction. He wants to finish them tomorrow. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and Cornflower said, yeah, you're almost finished. And Hannah read 65 pages at 93%. So hopping off so I can finish. Yeah, you go finish that. We're going to be wrapping it up here anyway. So
Yep.
thanks everybody for hanging out with me and Sherry. And hopefully we got closer to your goals of getting your books read before the end of the year.
2 hours?
Yeah. It just seems so weird to say like the end of the year. It's like a few hours from now. Yeah.
I know.
And so I'm just going to go ahead and get off here. And thanks, Sherry, for hanging out with me so I didn't have to be by myself.
No problem. It was a great evening. It was a great way to spend an evening.
Yeah, it was. Even if my aunt doesn't think so, it was a great way to spend my evening.
Yes. I enjoyed myself.
Okay. See everybody in the Discord.
See you next year.
Yep. See you next year and Happy New Year.
Bye.
Bye.